Feed me. Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more.
The Ryback Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show Tuesday Live. I am the big guy Ryback. Thank you guys for joining me. Everyone, Instagram, TikTok, the big guy Ryback 22 on there. What was that? Seeing a marking on my phone once again. Weird fingerprint shows up on my phone randomly. We are streaming Ryback TV on YouTube, Ryback Rules on Twitch, and Ryback on Twitter. This show, this podcast is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, premium supplement sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. No artificial sweeteners, no artificial colors, no harmful artificial sweeteners or colors. Guys, vegan friendly, available for men and women on feedmemore.com. All of December, you get free domestic shipping on feedmemore.com. Free shipping on your orders, guys, the whole month of December, and you get a free gift. The gift this month is the Feed Me More Nutrition drawstring gym bag here with the logo, the Feed Me More Nutrition Hungry drawstring gym bag. That is your free gift as well, and you can save 25% on your orders on top of all this by signing up for my email or text message or both to get exclusive discounts and a message of positivity or my thought of the week each week. One message, one text, one email, usually an email on Wednesday and a text message on Thursday. And you get exclusive discounts not made available. We'll occasionally run a BOGO sale, buy one, get one free. Sales we just don't do to the mass public. So it's definitely worth signing up. And on top of it, you get the 25% off as a thank you for signing up for those as well. So check that all out, guys. Feedmemore.com. Hope everyone's having a great evening, great night. Been a great day for the big guy. Had a big workout, chest, traps, freaking jacked, and chest, traps, a little bit of arms, and then I did 9 rounds on the Stairmaster, and as well as a bunch of scar tissue work on the hammer strength incline machine. I get the handle and I get it under my scapula, and that handle's a lot thinner than a softball, so it can actually get under my scapula, and it frees up. I broke up a ton of scar tissue today. So I've been doing a lot of these electric current with these crystal shocker things that a lot of the therapists have, but it's been breaking up the tissue, helping soften it up. And but I had a great chest workout today. I could tell on my pressing is getting better. Is this scar tissue is letting go of the scapula. So just big guy problems and of overcoming the impossible. And it gets closer every week, but it's a lot of work. It is my life. Feed me more nutrition, stay in shape, keep my conditioning intact, and keep working on this shoulder while growing Feed Me More Nutrition, and just being happy and living life and doing this show throughout the week, as well as everything else, and managing everything else. So I'm pumped, and it's been a good day. I will say, everyone on TikTok as well, I was able to join a live creator call today in which they were actually kind enough to take me first. I was at the gym, but I wanted to talk to them because I've not been able to get a hold of them. And they're going to take a look at the account. They said, we'll see what happens. I don't know. There's clearly something where the account's not being shown. Stuff is in single digits, and it's pretty frustrating because it was not like that. But we'll see. We'll hope that nobody can really understand the severity of what I go through with this. And I refuse to be a victim or anything like that. That's why I never have stopped. Anybody else, the majority of other people this have gone through would have just given up. They would have given up 5.5 years ago. I go harder and harder and harder, but it's no doubt frustrating. And I know when I say frustrating, I'm talking deeply. I can't say what goes through my head when knowing what is going on, but the hungry remain positive, and everything that happens is for my favor and benefit, and it's gonna all get worked out. And then that slingshot just keeps getting pulled back further and further and further. And when it is released, we are gonna run everybody over. And that's just the mindset that I have on it. All right, guys, let's get to some questions. Here's a show, and let's see what we have that comes up today. As you know, the health, fitness, mindset, positivity, life problems, just whatever pro wrestling that comes to mind. Super chats are brought up on the screen, guaranteed to get answered. On that, thank you to everybody that joins to the Rybacker Club on YouTube, on Ryback TV, and other questions I will get to as I see them. Spammers will get shell shocked out of Rybackville. It may not always be on the first one, but eventually the meat hook's going to get you, slow you down, and we give you the shell shock out of town. Do I ever miss meat? No, not anymore. And I think it's the seasoning. Once you realize it's the flavoring and seasoning that goes on the food, and there's all these other plant-based stuff where the texture, it's not, it just isn't something you feel so much better. And and also I think this is a very important thing, because don't get me wrong, and I've always said this, I'm not going to ever like say like, oh, it doesn't taste great, of course, but once you make the connection to animals, in living sentient being kind loving beings, that then in the food that we in the animals that we choose to bully and torture for our self pleasure, which is killing us because it's not good for us, especially at the levels we consume it. Right? It just kind of, it's crazy how the mind shifts away from it, and every meal I look at is just pure energy, and I know it's bettering me for the long term. So I think there's a lot you got to put in place to like where it's you got to be motivated and look at food the correct way, and it not go based off necessarily what we think, or and I know it's not easy. You look at people and we want to justify, and I did it. You grow up and you see, Arnold and your guys, well, they say take protein powder and eat eggs and steak, and eat a lot of it, and that's and I could eat a lot. So if I could eat more than everybody else, I could be better than everybody else. And what you don't realize, though, it's like they're just human beings that living their life, and some people do it better than others. And as far as like, I'm not even going to get into that, but like it's just, we see that, and then we think, well, that's what I need to do too. That's why I'm very happy to be doing it the right way, and I feel like will greatly help in young people not have to live through the mistakes that I made, and what I didn't even realize were mistakes until in my late 30s, right? So, and it's given me, I've gotten all my health back, and I look at forward to like literally my prime years. I feel, knowing what I know now and being young still enough, and getting my health intact. So, but you gotta look at it a little differently, because obviously some people go, you're just going, well, the taste, and like that alone is a horrible way to look at food. It's the lowest tier way to look at food, is just go, oh, straight by taste. Which, by the way, the vegan food with everything tastes better though. But even that, if you're making your decision based off taste, you're not going to make always the best decisions for ourselves energy wise. But like my last meal, fruits and vegetables just taste a million times better now, eating it the way it just, and putting seasoning on it, and salt, and potassium, salt, and pepper, and like, and using some hummus and guacamole, and some dipping sauces, some liquid aminos here and there. You will not miss any flavor if you go all in on the vegan diet, and learn the foods. We've got a super sticker here, Alessandra Musky. Thank you very much. Yeah, Ryback fan. Hey, buddy, I'm interested in finding out who are the vegan wrestlers now. I don't know who's full blown vegan. I'm not around a lot. I still don't think it's a lot, but I know there's some. But I don't know. I don't know who. Yeah, way it balances. I believe in what you're saying about food, but it's a hard transition. Yeah, but I think you got to see though, once you and it, again, even if you don't go full vegan, it's just going more plant based, and you can. And I'm not telling, even though I think it's just delaying the inevitable, but it's a process, and I understand that isn't always easily right away. So we go more plant based, just cut back on the amount and get comfortable eating the foods, and you're going to see how much better you feel. And and two, it still can be where you if you eat the stuff every once in a while, that's your decision where you're going to be a lot healthier than you are if we're consuming it every damn meal. You know what I mean? So, and I know that not everyone's just going to go. Well, not everyone's as motivated as me, and I am training to go back at the high level the sport that I worked my whole life for, right? In entertainment, and I'm very hungry, and because I left on in a way that I did not want to leave, but to save myself, and luckily everything has worked out in my favor where there's going to be an opportunity to do that, right? So I understand, but I had to make a lot of changes. I ate more meat than anybody. I ate pounds of steak every day and ground beef. A pound of ground beef was normal just to put in a setting. I would sometimes do a pound and a half, every once in a while 2 pounds in one sitting. I was just straight protein. I was just a and it was and I look, and it's amazing that my heart is in the shape and not has any, like, but I've just seen such an improvement in every area of life switching away from it. And what that's how I know people can do it, because there was nobody. You look at like how those strongmen eat, like, and I even though they'll eat more junk and stuff, I was just, as far as like the meat animal portion, I look at some of the stuff, I laugh. I go, I used to eat so much more than that. So, but it's just you got to make the connection to the animals too. I feel, and not everyone's going to. I understand that, but I think if you watch like factory farming videos, and you see like our individual choices, that's because of our individual choices of going and getting that burger or those chicken fingers or those chicken wings creates the demand for it. So when everyone does that, that demand, then it goes to the factory farms, and that's where, but each one of us that switches over, that's a little bit less demand. God knows how many animals have been saved since I went vegan, right? That and so you got to look at things on a mass scale like that. And because I used to not look at it like that, and I believe, well, I'm just doing what I'm doing that's best for me, but it wasn't best for me. First of all, I was couldn't have been more wrong about it, and it wasn't best for the planet, and it wasn't best for the animals, right? So I eat grapes every morning. Grapes are great for potassium and blood pressure, as well, and which my blood pressure's perfect, and like it's very good. And being 288, 290 pounds, I'm very happy to keep where it's at. And but raisins, I used to eat a lot of raisins as a kid. I don't eat as much raisins now. Oh yeah, for everyone watching my nose, it was on yesterday's show. I put the skin tag. I had a little dot that was on my nose that it just drove me crazy. And if you remember, I had a skin tag on my face months ago, and it was very minor. But I got this cream, and you got to put it on with a toothpick, and it burns the area and scabs up, and you put the repair lotion on it, and then after like 3, 4, 5 days, it just falls off and goes away. Uh, but this on my nose, I got more of it on my nose than I wanted. Once the cream touches your skin, wherever it touches, it starts burning right away. So I got more of it on my nose than I wanted, and I go, shit, I'm just gonna have a big scab on my nose for a week, and it looks way better than it did. But it was it's gonna, I think it burned it good on the spot, and it's healing. So I had to go to the gym today, and one of the guys came up. He goes, "You get in a fight?" I go, "No, I put skin tag remover cream on my nose, and I got too much of it on, and instead of having just a little tiny little scab, I got a big, huge scab on my nose. Ryback, the red-nosed wrestler. Rudolph the red-nosed Ryback. Sarah, yeah, you have very low iron, so most of the time I eat meat for that, but not all the time. What else do I eat for low iron? There's a lot of different plant-based foods, and off the top of my head, I know spinach is solid for iron, in which I'll incorporate that usually a couple times a week into my meals. But there's a lot of plant-based foods that do have iron, but I take a whole food iron supplement as well. And the key to taking iron is not consuming iron with caffeine, keeping it about 90 minutes apart, 60 to 90 minutes. And the further that gap is, the better. But if you just look, type in plant-based sources of iron, you'll get a whole list of foods, and it's just something you could incorporate them into your diet throughout the day. And again, like I said, be very cautious of consuming iron uh, around caffeine. And also, I would consume it with a food that also is packed with vitamin C, as vitamin C is been shown to help increase the absorption of iron as well. Somebody you could look to, that's the kind of thing like Dr. Berg. I'm not a doctor. I know a lot of things, but I don't know a lot of things. And it's like there's people that are like that do specific videos for this kinds of stuff. And like I take information and like I apply it to me into my life that fits my life. So I'm not always like the best of giving you a detailed explanation of when the wins and wheres and whys as far as that. And I process so much damn information that I forget half the stuff sometimes, or it takes something to trigger it. But off my head, I know spinach. And again, I don't think for me as an athlete, a whole food iron supplement is very beneficial. Just with red blood cell production and oxygen in the body. I want that little bit extra iron from that supplement as well, on top of the foods that I'm getting it from. We've got a super chat here. Let's get to the super chat. Alex J, thank you very much, buddy. Starbucks coffee money. What are your thoughts on mental health? Much love. Feed me more. It's a pretty broad question, but um, I think that when you live a life, and like I talk about the hungry mindset with that. So we're born and we die, right? That's the two givens right there. No matter we're born and we die, and in between that, a lot of different things can happen. And everyone's personal life is different. And there's good things that happen and what we perceive and what are bad things. And there's different levels to all of this. The one thing that I know is having a positive mindset and not getting stuck in a victim mentality. And we're all human. We all have very similar emotions. But the most successful and happiest people I've found through my readings and experience of meeting them are those that who are able to shift out of the negative as quickly as possible and keep moving forward, even if it is in baby steps, slow at a slow rate. So, but there's just if you know this, if you meet people with certain mindsets, they just refuse to just give up. They refuse, like they want to get the most out of life, right? And it doesn't matter, and I understand that we're young, and when we're younger and we're living in our parents' home, and we feel we could feel restricted, or we could feel like we want more, especially now because you're seeing the lives of so many people on social media. Like when I was a kid, I didn't know what I didn't know outside of my neighborhood and what my eyes saw. We didn't have so whereas I understand kids now are seeing people doing all sorts of things, which is I really feel for, because this is all new stuff, and it's not probably not the easiest waters to navigate in with that. But again, it's you got to understand that a lot of this stuff, this is why I preach this stuff. It comes down to the food we put in our bodies. Life is energy, food is energy. We fix our food, we fix our mood. That we have to look at our individual lives and what we are doing and what we are putting into our body, because a lot of this stuff in the processed foods and a lot of the junk in the world is designed to break us down and make us dependent on the system that big corporations have all merged together. And it's that creates this problem. And then they sell you a band-aid for that problem that then creates another problem that leads you to another thing. And it's kind of this is why it's not just like it's a mindset. And that's why I call it the hungry mindset. And it's just you look at everything for what it is, and we have to it starts from within, and we have to find that drive and that hunger within and knowledge to be able to overcome the things. But if we're, look at me. I'm just going to give you an example. I needed a 5 disc fusion and shoulder replacement. I think we all could agree that could have gone a really, really bad way for a lot of people, if not most people. Won't say everybody, right? Because there's other people like me. I'm not but I could have got a 5 disc fusion, got a prescription for pain pills for the rest of my life. I could have got my right shoulder replaced at 30. This all at 34, by the way, walking out on a multi-million-dollar contract on my own, which a lot of people that would cause severe depression. Didn't cause it one bit for me. I was more motivated than ever because I'd worked so hard, and I was not going to let that be my end, because that was not the end that I want with that. So, but I could have let myself go. I could have quit working out. I could have just started eating junk food because I'm not on TV anymore. Why do I have to stay in my top shape? But I already had this mindset, this hungry mindset. So I just went the other way. I kept working out. I looked into my options and discovered stem cells, have had 19 treatments. Back is 100% now. Shoulder, we're right at the end here. This thing is going to be ready to go sooner than later. With this, I feel great. I'm not in pain anymore with anything. I'm happier than I've ever been in my entire life with this, right? And I'm doing all the things I want to do. I work for myself. I sleep in my own bed every night. I'm in control, right? But I could have went the other way with that. But if I would have done that, I would have been massively depressed. I would have been drinking with the pain pills, no doubt, because I would have been so unhappy with the stuff they did to me, and not being able to be physical and as active, and right. I would have taken away things that made me happy and given up. So we can't give up. That's the key. And so I just look at mental health, and I know there's levels to it. And I think really food is such a powerful thing that we have to look at what are we putting in our bodies. And you got to look at we got to get past what our baby brains will put in our baby brains from our parents. Because I know this, I luckily came from a good household where my mom was very health conscious, and I learned about fruits and vegetables at a young age. And I'll be the first to admit I got away from it because we had processed foods. And when I got older, I didn't listen. I was stubborn on a lot of what was told to me, and what to do in things to be healthy, because I didn't think it mattered. I just because we're taught macros, and you not talk about micronutrients. And no, no, no. We need to be talking about micronutrients on a lot of this, but we got to look at the food, and you got to look at what we're putting in our bodies, and what is normal, what we think is normal in a lot of households. And being a kid and growing up, because we see our parents eating it, we don't realize that it's completely wrong. And we have to make changes in the fuel that we're putting in our body, if we're going to get our thoughts the right way as well, because a lot of that bad energy we're putting in our body are behind the bad thoughts, in my opinion, and in the way that we feel. And then it's a tough thing. Kids, adults do it. And you feel bad, and you go to a doctor, and life is work. Life takes work. It takes work to overcome problems. But a lot of people want that quick fix. And doc, I'm depressed. And then they start, well, is that pain pill gonna, or that the depression medicine gonna like make me hungry for life? No, oftentimes it makes things way worse for people with that. And it doesn't solve the problem. The problem is the mindset. It's the mindset, on more often than not. And I'll never say 100% and whatnot, but you gotta have that. You gotta find that hunger within, and it's different for each and every one of us. But mental health it's life. It's our mindset. It's how we wake up and approach life every day. Like, I wake up so excited every morning without an alarm clock. 4:30, 5. I woke up at 3:15 today, and I was so energized and ready to go. I go, I got to be able to get to the night. I'm gonna be tired. I slept a couple more hours with that because I wanted to get closer to 7. I was only at about 5.5 on that. So you gotta, but like I'm excited, and that's because of the decisions I make each day. I put good things in my body. I have balance. I do my red wine once a week. I got something to look forward to. I don't cut things out completely, but I've got a good balance and things, and that's what we gotta. It's taken me a long time to figure this out, and it's why I share this stuff because it's a journey and it's a process that each one of us have to go on if we're gonna truly fulfill our full potential, in my opinion. Great question, though. Thank you. IG, thank you for everybody joining in Instagram. Thank you for those Starbucks badges. TikTok, always great to see everybody on TikTok. Your uncle misses me in WWE. Tell your uncle the big guy says hello and thank you very much. So basically, saying big traps, no tap, and keep pushing. That's exactly what I'm saying, and it makes me very proud that you remember that. I remember saying that. I love saying I one of my favorite things I can't wait for to get back in wrestling is to do random things in matches that just become more memes and gifs. That is going to be my goal. Every time I wrestle, I'm going to think of something. What can I do tonight in the match and just do something so random where there's just memes of me just doing all the like just whatever random things, power bomb somebody, just do the suck it at the camera and do the Hogan ass slap and then start doing the happy dance from Happy Gilmore. That's going to be a thing. I'm going to get that over like Red Rover. The happy dance from Happy Gilmore, riding the donkey or riding the horse. So you got to do things. You got to that would should be what can I do tonight to be a meme? And what can I do? What facial expression can I make that's going to make people talk about me tonight? There's so many cool things you look at now. And I'm so glad I was away from wrestling and I could see what people aren't doing and doing where and have a very good idea of social media and what people gets people's attention and whatnot. Yeah, Ryback fan. I did yeah, the Chicago crowd at that Payback pay-per-view. I did a lot of CM Punk stuff that night. I do that big knee in the corner. I love that big knee was a staple of Ryback my final year or two in WWE. Iron Paradise, thank you very much on the GTS and Hope spot. Man, I love all the products myself as well. And yeah, we are working. We got it's actually the stuff we got a blueberry Pumplex City coming out. I'm gonna probably do the vanilla mocha frappuccino, ISO hungry, plant powered protein, but we got that in a creamy peanut butter ready to go. And then they're working on a new formula called Gorilla Gas, which is moringa, shilajit, and Irish sea moss, all organic. So that is going to be the next supplement number 14 on top of the other flavors, and that will be the first quarter of 2022. Timmy G, good to see you, my man. Thank you for the super chat. Another time I watched you live in arena was again in London, UK. SmackDown 2016 versus Kalisto. Were you unhappy with the change from singlet to trunks? So that match, I remember that match. I remember that day very well. I was in the singlet still. I believe I was in my blue and orange singlet for that match. Big guy has a pretty good memory on a lot of things. Not dumb as f, dumb af as one would like some to believe. Quite the opposite. The That was the day that I had a lot of frustrations. Things were already bad between. I was already very frustrated, and I was extra frustrated that day because I was told that there was going to be a world title tournament that I was going to be in. I go, cool. I was already to the point where it was like, whatever we're doing. And I was told I was working Kalisto in the opening round. I go, awesome. And Dean Malenko came over and was the producer. and he goes, we're trying to make Kalisto. He goes, we want to, and this is sometimes in the meetings, and this they don't want him to be Rey Mysterio, but they wanted to start giving him a big push, supposedly, where it was, he goes, like a Rey Mysterio push to the next level, right? I kid you not. I go, that's fantastic. And because they go, I go, I love it because I think he's extremely talented. But this is where business sense kicks in. And I said, he's winning the tournament, right? They go, I don't know. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't tell me that the creative is we want to make this guy like the next Rey Mysterio. The way you do that is you push the guy to the top. Then and you're going to have him beat your biggest, most jacked guy on the roster. You gotta, which if we're going to do that, should have been the last round going into it. But the key was, I ended up finding out that day they had no plans for him past just beating me that night, in which was going to be an upset from the whole storyline with that, but wasn't going anywhere, right? And that he was going to get beat the following week. So that instantly just infuriated me in the sense, not because I was losing to him, but because a lack of direction that when you start doing that, and like I hadn't been beaten a ton. You got to remember, so I have a lot stock in my name still. And you go, cool, what are we going to do with this guy then if you're telling me this? And then I found out that there wasn't any long-term plan. And I go, so we're going to get to next week. He's going to get beat, and making him the next Rey Mysterio is out the window, because if you know how things work, then that's how things work. So, and that was my. It's just like I go, that you have a tournament like that, and you want to get this guy over. You have him win the tournament by beating your best guys, and then he beats top talent on his way to becoming a champion. And then that's how you get somebody over. If you want him to become Rey Mysterio, you have to push him like you would Rey Mysterio. It's not rocket science. So that all went down that day. Hunter was avoiding me all day. Finally got alone with him, and it was a long, long conversation on my end with things, on just voicing my displeasure with the whole company and organization from everything. And there had been multiple talks with me and Hunter on that stuff. And I was very upset and frustrated and disappointed in Hunter from a personal level. And I told him that to his face. And there were some other things I told him as well. And that was that. I went out, I did business. I'm always professional with it. And we saw it play out where I think he got beat the following week. And that was it with that. But that was in the singlet. And then eventually my final program with Kalisto was in the trunks. And that was just a switch I made to piss them off, because Vince wanted me in trunks a year earlier, and I didn't do it because I loved my singlet. I actually never wanted to get out of the singlet. I just wanted to show them my body. That was more for me, just to have photos and me I was in great shape before I was going to leave. So, and I didn't know when, but I knew it was getting soon, and that was that. So. Who's is Koopa? Who we got a Coop? We got a Coop spamming up. Ah, Coop, my man. Coop, Coop, Coop. Coop, Coop, and Loop. You got to scoop up the Coop and shell shock him out of Rybackville. You're out of here, pal. Yeah, bananas and cilantro are great for elevating our mood. And I don't know, I'll tell you what I really like, and I don't know, I got to look at the connection, but I eat a lot of basil, and I love the way basil makes me feel. I got to look and see if there's any connection with that. Basil's another good one. Basil actually too will ramp up the sex drive a lot more too. So you got to be careful probably how much basil you eat, because it's powerful stuff. And I get the organic basil leaves and I sprinkle it on like an asshole. Hello, my friend from India. I'm gonna have to my friend from India. That's a lot of Indias on the. That's about 8 messages saying you're from India. We're gonna go ahead and shell shock you back into India. I hate to do it. I hate to do it. You didn't say anything negative or mean, but you got to have some common sense in Rybackville, and I can't teach you that. I don't have the time, so we're gonna have to have you learn that on your own and come back under a different username. I hate to see it. They had to shell shock a good one. My thoughts on Austin Theory doing segments with Vince McMahon. I saw some of those. I tell you, it looks a little awkward. I don't really. I don't know. It's just it's just it's very it makes me sad watching, and I don't know anything about Austin Theory. Like I don't. I've seen him on there, and I saw him earlier. Then they took him away for a while, but I saw the part with him and Vince and with the Cleopatra's egg, the whole deal and whatnot. And I thought Sami Zayn was by far the star of all that. How Sammy, I think Sammy's one of my favorite people to watch. I think Sammy is so great. He's so entertaining. I think Sammy could be the show if they really invested in him heavily. He's very, very. I'd give Sammy a heater and put the title on him and let him run his mouth for a year before getting beat. He's he's great, and I like he's a good guy, and he's a good person, but he's a smart guy. He's intelligent. He's not your stereotypical wrestler. He has a lot of other stuff he could do, and I feel like I've talked to him a bit when I was there. We had some solid conversations where I was like he's if I was there that whole time, I feel like me and him would really probably talk a lot. He's just an intelligent guy. Much like I got along with Daniel Bryan. Daniel's an intelligent guy. You know, I think some people think of, did you lift weights today? Oh my God, protein. Did you see the beef and catering? It was unbelievable. Jesus. Oh, weights. Look at that ass. God. I think that's what people think like Ryback conversations are like. And it's couldn't be any further from the truth. So I hate to disappoint you guys. Yes, I've wrestled Braun Strowman. Guys, I was in WWE since I was 22. I feel like when people ask me, like, hey, do you know who Roman Reigns is? I was like, yeah, that was his first match on TV or first segment. Like, relax. Yeah, Sammy's just one of my favorites. I could watch Sami Zayn all day long. His conspiracy theory, it's all so entertaining. It's great. What else do we got going on? Oh, hey Ryback, what do I want for Christmas? Someone says on TikTok. My PO box is on YouTube. You guys can send my Christmas gifts to my PO box. I'm not like I don't have an Amazon wish list or anything. I just buy all my own stuff. So Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns is the money match, shoot match. They sanction a boxing match at WrestleMania. Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns. Jesus. I'm drinking a grape Zevia soda right here. It's almost gone. And then I've got my Hungry Feed Me More Nutrition shaker bottle full of water. Nexus versus the Shield. That would have been a solid match. Nexus would destroy the Shield. We had the numbers on them. You got to remember, I took on the Shield by myself and threw those guys around, right? From a character standpoint. And then they cost me the matches on a lot of them. But you got to remember go back and watch. Go back. The big guy was throwing around three guys all the time with that. So, with the me and the Nexus against the Shield, straight numbers, get out of here. 7-on-3 match. They don't stand a chance. I saw that, yeah, Jake Paul is going to be taking on Tyron Woodley. I'm a little disappointed that the Fury match is off. I will say I bought the first one. I will not be buying the second one. I don't think I'll be buying any more of their stuff after hearing about the knockout clauses. And I just now don't trust. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Unless Logan fought Tyson, I would buy that. And only I just to see Tyson. But if they did that, I would hope to God they just let it. It's not an exhibition because it can't be. Tyson needs to one last kill to call it a career. Just let him just go out there and just feast on Logan Paul. I love those guys and what they're doing, but after hearing the no knockout thing, and who knows if it's true or not, I'm like, yeah, I'll just stick to buying the UFC pay-per-views and the big boxing matches from now on. Thank you for the super chat, Kimura Kyle. Have you ever done yoga or meditation? I have. I was looking for something else to go along with jiu-jitsu wrestling to help my clinical depression. Again, I think diet is going to be the best thing that you could ever do, and fix your food, you fix your mood. I really believe that is something. But as far as like putting activities in your day, join a hot yoga deal or one of the yoga things. You can join a class. There's so many options on that, to help give you some more structure with that. And again, that's why I tell people just activities in the real world where we're not just stuck on our phones and we're actually doing things, work wonders. So you're on the right track and you're already doing other things, right? With the jujitsu and wrestling. So, maybe you throw in a yoga thing and throw in a boxing class occasionally, just something just to mix it up. But I would think, yoga would be more beneficial, and everyone's different than actual meditation. Meditation, you could do at any point in time, just sit for 15 minutes and just really, really just let everything go and stay away from the phone. You don't that kind of stuff you could do on your own, but even the yoga too. But I think, going to a class for that could be very beneficial just to get out if that's something that you're seeking with that. But again, I'm always going to go diet first, no matter what. Great question. Landon, thank you for the super chat. What's up, big guy? Genuine question. What was the locker room like in WWE? Undertaker lost, like in WWE after Undertaker lost his WrestleMania streak. Thanks, my guy. Great question. So he already wasn't there though. He was just be there sporadically. You got to remember, he wasn't full time. He was like one match a year for WrestleMania. And that even then he wasn't doing live events and outside of maybe the occasional one for a tour or something if they had a special match they were going to do. Uh, so he wasn't in the locker room. Locker room was great when I was there. And there was no locker room leader. I think that's a term that is often overused and misunderstood, where people think like there's like this like I feel like people think like when Undertaker's just like standing in the locker room, like just looking over everything and like Benoit get changed and like pointing, Farouk, drink that beer. Like I don't know what like people. It's TV arenas are so big. It's just more of I think if there's and I think in their era it was more wild and chaotic than our era where and we have phones and things and people are more in line and not doing drugs and you're not drunk all the time. Not saying everyone was like that all the time, but it was definitely way more chaotic. And you had guys doing steroids left and right. So tempers were wild to begin with roid rage, which is a very real thing when you're mixing it with all that stuff with those kind of talents and that. So the atmosphere, it was very laid back. And I never once like I think guys just everyone kept everyone in line as far as it wasn't because we had mostly good people for the most part. That there wasn't like somebody that was I can't remember and being up there where like there was someone that was like a problem where like everyone was, we all came from developmental pretty much together and it was everyone just kind of had respect for everyone and I don't know. But you got to remember, like I wasn't like I stayed away from the gossiping. I would go listen to books, and I'd go and sit by myself in the stands. And I was around guys, and I'd BS and joke around too. But I didn't. If guys would get together and start kind of gossiping, I stayed away from that. I want no part in any of that, and that does go on, and it goes on with everyone at various people and points. And I never thought that was very healthy, and that was a big reason why I chose not to ride with people ultimately, because I wanted to use that time to learn and to get an education on the road about business, which has given me everything that I've gotten. I literally got a free education, and not free. I paid for all the books, but on that time, those 3 to 5 hour drives every night, where a lot of guys, if they're smoking or if like a guy is driving and guys are just sipping some beers or doing whatever, not saying everyone's doing that, or guys are just talking and whatnot. Now, great, it could be great if you're like guys like the New Day riding together, thinking of ideas. But and like things like that are a little different. But oftentimes you can, if you're not with a good crew or people, and the time, I found the time to be best used for me to learn with that. And I just and I'd been in cars before where like everything was great in my life and my career, and their booking wasn't as great, and they were angry and negative. And I go, well, shit, I don't want to be around this when I'm like, because it just brings the mood down, and I want to control my environment. So, but like I don't think there was no problems in the locker room. Like there wasn't anything, and Cena had a bus, Punk had his bus, so they weren't in the locker rooms. But even then, you're not like just like you just don't like hang out in the locker rooms. I mean, you can sit in there for a bit, but like you're not, most of the time you're walking around, you go to catering, you go walk around the arena, you go sit in the stands, you just bounce around. You just kind of, so everything is, there's a lot of moving parts all day in the arenas. And then you go get ready for your match and then you shower afterwards, but it's not like Undertaker in front of the show. All right, Ryback, shower's yours. Like that, like I don't know what people think though when they hear like locker room leader. Just it's a term that's so overused on things that like that yeah. And that's just what I my entire time of being in that company and what I've seen, you know? And I've been there and I went up there. I was at TVs, but a lot of those guys weren't back when it was Undertaker and Benoit and Eddie back in the Tough Enough days and with Hardcore Holly. And like that was a much more tense environment because I wasn't on the road full time. And when you go up there as a developmental talent, you're in their home now and you're just a guest. You're the young guy who's going to take one of their spots at some point, maybe if you're lucky. So like it is a much more hostile, tense mood. Uh, then you're not getting changed in the locker rooms. You got to remember, by my time there, I was there. Our talent had already taken over. We were now the guys. I was closing out shows for a couple years, off and on, in the mix always and always like. So I was always comfortable in I never worried about a thing. And I'm one. I feel a solid person where I'm not doing nothing where it's gonna get if you have a talent that's like doing things and causing problems, then I'm sure guys are going to, if they feel it's a situation that needs to be policed, but like then they will speak up and maybe designate someone to do that. I didn't see that one time the entire time I was there though. So great question. Uh Thoughts, Rolla 6555. Thoughts on possible Vax mandate for Vegas shows. I've not heard anything about that. Is that, I'll look that up if that's, again, if they are going to do that, I will not be going to any of them. And I have no problems not going to anything. This I think that this is the most ridiculous thing that we are doing with the mandates. And I think we're going to look back at this sooner than later. And there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to be like, damn it, why did I get that? I really, because there's no long term, there's nothing long term. And that's the one thing, everyone do what you want to do what's in your best interest. But to like say something like that, like they're going to go, you need to have a vaccine to come in here, even though you're strong and healthy and you have a negative COVID test. Why are we ignoring all that other stuff, right? There's nothing better than a negative COVID test. If you're truly, truly worried about health and not spreading, because the vax are spreading it just as like it's not stopping that. So you might have 70 people out of 1,000 that are infected that have the virus. What's better than a negative COVID test? Nothing. So that to me is where I look at this and I go, nope, I'm cool. I've already lived without that stuff. I've been to shows already. I could care less if I go. I could care less about going to any other country that enforces it. And I think that they're not going to get away with it here with the people we have now, with the mandates and stuff. And I tell like I'm over it. I'm completely over everything now. I'm done with the mask. I don't wear it. They don't do any. No one says anything anymore here on it. I'm done. I think it's, we all got to now hold our ground and go, nope, we're done. Experiment's over. We're done. If you want to wear it, you want to do, go get your thing, but we're going back to the way things were. And I think there's a lot more people like that than there are the other way. So, have I ever gotten in a real fight in the locker room? No, I've never even seen. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a heated moment in the locker room. I can't think of one. Nah, there won't be shutdowns again. They're not gonna. There's nothing warrants any of that. They're not gonna get. I think they're trying to really distract people with everything going on with the Ghislaine trial, the Maxwell trial. What else do we got going on? What wrestling figures do I have in the mugs behind me? Those are just Ryback figures in wrestling coffee cups. Those are Legion of Doom, Earthquake, Big Boss Man, Hacksaw Jim Duggan coffee mugs with Ryback action figures in them. Our Too Sweet blood sugar support essentially helps the body utilize carbohydrates better with that. And if you go to click on feedmemore.com and look at the product page on there, we have a great product page that explains each individual ingredient on that. And but we have like things like a gymnema cinnamon extract, two different cinnamons, and our alpha lipoic acid, which is superior to just most companies just use alpha lipoic acid. You want the R isomer on that. And I learned that at a very young age, actually, through a company, and that I found when I took that too. I noticed a difference in my body. But it's great to I eat it. I take a serving before my big carbohydrate meal in the morning, and you can take it up to 2 times a day with that, depending. But it's great also to before if you're going to do it, like if you're going to do your cheat meal for the week, and it's good to take a serving of that before a big carbohydrate meal with that. It just helps prevent the insulin from spiking to the degree that it normally would with that. And all the ingredients are that are clinically researched ingredients, natural ingredients shown to actually help improve that. If I went back to WWE, would I be happy to win the King of the Ring? All hail King Ryback. That would be my voice. The king is hungry for more. Fetch me a vegan burger, you feed me moron. It would be a very elaborate production as King Ryback. Hello, everyone. TikTok and IG, appreciate you joining the Ryback Show. Will you get the Limp Biscuit to do your theme song? That would be badass. If Limp Biscuit did the Feed Me More, I'm gonna. So you've just put that in my head. That is now going to be a discussion at some point. Can we get Fred Durst to remake Meat on the Table? And it's going to be called Beyond Meat on the Table. But I still hunt humans for a living. Eric, did your super chat not got through? Let me see if I missed one here. I apologize. Not all of them have been popping up on the top. Oh, I see it, Eric. I apologize, brother. I wonder why they're not all showing up at the top. Eric Dill, thank you for the super chat. You're the best, Ryback. How's the neck and shoulders doing? And you're the realest person on YouTube. Thank you very much, buddy. I just try to just be myself, and I don't have any fear of just talking and just being me. And that was one thing I think in wrestling we can sometimes you get limited by the roles that you play, and people that always bothered me because I feel like it was again a lot of lies and hate with things, and I go, no, I want people to know the real like me in that my what I do on TV is an extension in a way depending on the role that I'm playing, but the intensity and the adrenaline is such a real part of me in my life that I just but show my passion just in being me in every way possible. My sarcastic side and that you're not always able to do depending on the role, and I have no problem with that because I like playing the serious role on TV because it draws money. Serious draws money all day long when you could do that. And then I know I could do that. I could do that better than anybody. So like but I like being well versed and well rounded and not having, there's some people that think you have to talk just a certain way in everything that you do, and afraid to like lighten up and to laugh. And I'm not afraid because I'm so confident in who I am and what I am that it's taken years to get that comfortable where now it's just like I'm that 90-year-old drying his balls and his wang just right in the dryer, standing on the chair at the gym. I'm just drying it out for everyone to see. Huh? Just the old 90-year-old with the saggy balls in the gym. That's who I am. I discovered that at 30 something. So I'm feeling pretty damn good. But my shoulder's doing fantastic. Neck has always been fine. And it's a lot of work on the scar tissue, but we are getting there. I'm telling you, it's frustrating at times with the amount of work and time it takes. It is my life right now, getting my shoulder right, but we're getting there. I'm beyond confident that it's happening, and it's just we're on the final stage. Thank you, buddy. I do like Christmas music. I put Christmas music on the TV. I put the music channel on channel 941, the seasonal music for here in Vegas. And I'll have Christmas music playing, and I have my headphones on when I'm home and doing work, but I'll hear it in between. And I have Christmas lights outside decorated. I actually going to go buy a few more strings to do a few more trees out there. I recently saw some neighbors up the street really, there were about 4 or 5 houses that went all out. I go, damn, I got to do a little more. If you're putting Wardlow and Brock Lesnar as a tag team, I'm going me and Goldberg, or me and Goldberg, or me and Lashley. I might go Lashley at this point. Me and Lashley versus Wardlow and Lesnar. Is that the match we're making? The all meat match. All right, guys. With that, we're going to wrap up tonight's show. I gotta get some things done here, get the dogs out, and finish up my nightly Feed Me More nutrition work with everything. I greatly appreciate all the love and support. Thank you for all the super chats tonight. If you guys could please podcast on iTunes, reviews are greatly appreciated on the show. The show is available on all podcast platforms as well. If you don't feel like watching on here, but you can subscribe on YouTube here at Ryback TV, and please keep notifications on so you guys know when I go live, as the times can fluctuate a little bit with everything. And Feed Me More Nutrition on feedmemore.com. Premium supplements, guys. And we have a new member before we wrap up. Always appreciate the new members. Eve Bowerbank. Thank you for becoming a Rybacker. Eve, I hope you're having a great night. And I appreciate the love and support. I'm going to move that there. And with that, guys, stay hungry, my friends. Until next time, feed me more.